Good day there once again viewers, your mate Kamikaze 78 here, coming to you guys with some more World of Warships content. Today guys, I'm bringing you some early preview gameplay of the Asashio Tier 8 Premium Japanese Destroyer that is currently available to super testers and community contributors. And as a result guys, just the usual disclaimer here to say that she is still a testing ship, so her stats are a work in progress and are subject to change before her official release. Now, normally guys, for these sorts of videos, I would have an awesome game playing in the background with some live post-gameplay commentary running over the top of it explaining the ship. But I'm going to be honest with you guys, I was actually finding it incredibly difficult to get a solid game in this ship. And while I will admit that I am not the best destroyer player to have ever graced the face of the earth, I will also say that I don't feel as though my lacking enjoyment of the ship is down to my skills as a DD captain. Instead, I actually think it's something to do with the design of the ship and the niche that she attempts to fill, which as a result makes her a mechanically boring ship to play. I actually found it really hard to get any remotely interesting gameplay of this ship because I found myself basically falling asleep at my keyboard as I played this quote-unquote map border warrior. And if that isn't a clear indication as to what the ship is like, then allow for me to elaborate. The Asashio's niche is her long-range, decent-speed Japanese deep-water torpedoes. She features two sets of 4 center-mounted torpedoes that come with a range of 20 kilometers and approximately 22,000 maximum damage. The best part about these torps on paper is that they're deep-water torpedoes with a long range, meaning that they come with a higher flooding chance and significantly lessened detectability. However, the worst part about the ship is that they are also deep-water torpedoes on steroids that are only capable of hitting battleships and carriers and come with a 0.7 kilometer detection range. So in some games you might only be capable of causing torpedo damage maybe against 4 targets of an enemy fleet. Now surely the guns would be somewhat decent for engaging cruisers and destroyers as a trade-off, right? Well, no, of course not, you silly Billy. Who am I kidding? This is a Japanese destroyer. The ship features 3 sets of 2 127mm guns that come with a slow rate of fire and a horrible traverse speed. So if you've played any Japanese destroyer in the past, besides the Akizuki, you know what I'm talking about. Which makes it incredibly difficult for them to track enemy destroyers when you're stuck in fast-paced combat, and her torps won't save her because, well, you know, deep waters and all. She does win in some points, however, with her concealment, which I've managed to get all the way down to 5.4 kilometers with the correct captain skills, which allows for her to contest capture points, but that's basically all she can do. If a cruiser or a destroyer makes an appearance on the point, which in most cases it will be one of those 2 types of ships, then there is really no way you're going to have a chance at muscling them off the point. So all you can really do is sit there, hoping they don't have a radar and that your allies come to help you. So, as a result, all you can really do in this ship is score damage and sit at a decent range against battleships and attempt to snipe enemies, because, yeah, that's fun and engaging. The issue with that, while yes, she has great torpedoes that are extremely capable at scoring good hits on enemy battleships and carriers from out of the blue, yeah, pun intended, most players at that tier level are smart enough to know that if you're in a battleship, you should always be changing course to avoid any incoming torpedoes or any surprise torpedoes for that matter. Always, like always changing course. And when firing from such ranges in the Asashio, it is impossible to predict any kind of course changes enemy ships are going to make. You kind of have to just, you know, fire and hope for the best really. All you can really do is sit there watching your torps travel tens of kilometers, crossing your fingers that you score a hit. Not fun and engaging at all, and if you miss, tough titties, time to wait through your 102 second long reload time to complete, which again really hurts the ship because then you've got to wait for the reload time to complete and then send your torps off at such ranges once again, which takes them forever to reach their target, and you're just left with huge gaps of action really. What also really doesn't help is that the torpedo spread at such ranges, even when firing in the narrow spread, is actually too wide to cause any sort of devastating strikes against enemies at such ranges. At the 10 kilometer plus range, the torps start to spread to the point where you might score, and I mean might score 1 or 2 hits on a target if you're lucky. To my knowledge, this sounds like some sort of counterbalance to the fact that these are extremely long-range deep-water torpedoes with a 0.7 kilometer detection range, which I understand, but to have to wait a minute for your torpedoes to reach the target, only to score 15,000 damage, is really just not that worth it. At such tiers, battleship players should be punished for tunnel visioning and sailing in a straight line for a long time, and this ship would be the king at doing such things if it didn't have the spread on the torpedoes. If Wargaming want this ship to be so damn focused at targeting enemy capital ships, then she needs to have the armament to support such roles, and right now she doesn't. If she's going to be a sniping ship, then don't give her the torpedo equivalent of a German battleship's dispersion when at full turn. It's counterproductive. It just proves to be counter-effective overall and makes the ship just boring to use. But even then, I still don't like the direction this ship takes from a design standpoint. I feel as though the deepwater torpedoes are far too concentrated at dealing with battleships and are going to encourage destroyer captains to sit at max ranges, sniping away at targets. It doesn't help the team, and it's a fun kill overall. Personally, I thought deepwater torpedoes were in a great state with the Pan-Asia Destroyer line, you know, being decent ranged and being able to hit all targets with a slightly reduced detection radius. In my humble opinion, I feel as though these deepwater torpedoes for the Japanese destroyers are far too concentrated. At the end of the day, they should be just like Pan-Asia Destroyers in the sense that they can hit cruisers, battleships, and carriers, maybe with a slight Japanese flair with a little bit of added detectability enhancements and range, and maybe a slower torpedo, or some sort of balance to make it a nice niche, but at the end of the day, that is far too focused right now to be effective overall. And that was my main problem with this damn thing. Everything about her niche, the fact that she can't effectively engage cruisers or destroyers in any way, shape or form, but is designed to be extremely effective against capital ships, but also features a torpedo armament that offers a little reward for the investment made by the player, makes her what I consider to be a painfully uninteresting ship to play. I would find myself in so many situations saying, well shit, I can't do anything here, time to go find a battleship. Then soon after saying, oh look, there's one, let's go get into range and torpedo, nope, there's a cruiser in my way. Never mind that then. I like what Wargaming have tried to do here in creating a niche. Like, I do like creativity in games, I like when they try new things. But at this point in time, they've got to admit that this just isn't going to work. In the high tiers, I just don't think it works effectively. It limits what you can do and what you can't do too much, and often sees you horribly outgunned. At the end of the day, this is just not a competitive destroyer for this tier. If they were to try and, you know, incorporate this design of destroyer with quite a few balance changes here and there into the lower tiers, maybe it would work. But in this tier, it just doesn't work at all. It just makes her a downright boring ship to play. Waiting for torpedoes to reach targets only to score damage that I could have done 3 times over in a battleship by that time isn't my idea of fun, and as a result I think the Asashio needs a lot of work, and I mean a complete revisit, before she makes it to the live game available for purchase. And guys, with all that said, and with that slight rant, I understand I went on a little bit of a rant there in this video, that concludes today's gameplay and video discussing the Asashio Tier 8 Premium Destroyer that is currently on its in-testing periods on live servers available to community contributors. Guys, if you enjoyed today's video, a backhand that like button would be greatly appreciated. And say you've, you know, been reading up on the Asashio, you've looked at a whole lot of reviews from it, let me know what you think about this ship. Do you think it's balanced? Do you think it needs some work? Do you think it's got a nice niche? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, guys. I'd love to hear what you all have to say. Once again, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Peace out, and I'll be seeing you all next time. Have a good one.